So example 6 gives us where we have a to be the square root of 5 minus 2 times the square root of 3 times 5 plus 2 times the square root of 3. So if you're clever right off the bat, you can see that this is the difference of squares, something that we've worked on a little bit. But if you don't, then you can just regularly FOIL this out, just a little bit more work. So, this is the square root of 5. So if we start off with FOIL, the square root of 5 times the square root of 5 makes just a regular old 5. Then we have our outsides, the square root of 5 and positive 2 square root of 3 gives us positive 2 square root of 3 times 5. We then have the inside, which is minus 2 square root of 3 times the square root of 5. So we get minus 2 times the square root of 3 times 5. Right, because the square roots go together. And then lastly, we have negative 2 square root of 3 times positive 2 square root of 3. So what we end up with is a negative 2 squared, because we got 2 multiplied by 2. And then we have square root of 3, and square root of 3 makes times 3. So that's how that frees up. Right? We can stack things pretty easily that way. Now, these terms in the middle are the same. Right? They're both 2 times the square root of 15. But we have a positive one and a negative one, so that goes away. So what we're left with is 5 minus 2 squared times 3, which is 12. And that just makes a good old negative 7. Lastly, we've got 5 square root of 2, or excuse me, 5 square root of 7 plus 3 square root of 2 squared. So we got 5, sorry, I forgot already, square root of 7 plus 3 square root of 2, quantity squared. So, unlike this problem, where this one, the difference of squares, again, notice that the middle part canceled, and we just left with nice, easy outside terms. This one won't do that because, again, it's not set up like that. This is just a regular old square. So we can think of this, it might make it easier for you to think of this as, 5 square root of 7 plus 3 square root of 2 times 5 square root of 7 plus 3 square root of 2. And so it's just a regular FOIL problem, so we just have to make sure that we're paying attention to everything. So if we do our first terms, we're going to get 5 squared times 7. Okay. We get our outside terms, which is 5 square root of 7 plus 3 times 3 square root of 2. So we get plus 3 times 5, or 5 times 3, times the square root of 7 times 2. The inside is going to make the same thing. So we get 3 times 5 times the square root of 7 times 2. And then our outside terms, so we get 3 square root of 2 times 3 square root of 2. So the 3's square, because we get the regular, and then the square root of 2 times square root of 2 just makes a regular old 2. So we can simplify this a little bit further. So we get 5 squared times 7. So 25 times 7 makes 175. We get 15 square root of 14 plus 15 square root of 14 is going to make 30 square root of 14. And then our last term, 3 squared times 2 is 9 times 2, or 18. And so if we simplify this finally down, 175 and 18 makes 193. And then we have our 30 square root of 14. And this is our final answer. So just make sure you're paying attention to what you have to do in a certain case. Binomials multiplied together, you need to FOIL. The only case where you can kind of cheat that ever is if you have the difference of squares like we did in the other problem, but you can still FOIL and still get the same answer.